All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. We are live on 1010XL's Facebook page and, of course, live on the relevant app on the Jaguar Fanatics channel. Check it out. Get some like-minded people along with you interacting about the Jags and just the great year that they have had. It continues to roll. It's so awesome. It's just so awesome. I just love it. I love it. I'm so happy for all of them. They deserve it, and they've earned it. And, man, what a game that was. Jags win 31-30. Holy schnikers. I mean, down 27-0, down 27-7. I'll tell you what, here's where I was. So the week before I told you I went to the game. It was cool. Went with the family. Standing room only in the club. I didn't get to watch the game as much as I'd like, but, I still had a great time. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I got a 14-year-old, got to watch. It's just, I'm more security guy than a fan when you're not in a seat. You know what I mean? Which is cool. It's all good. It's all good. So after that, I told my wife, I said, look, next game, I want to sit at a bar at the corner. I want to order some food and just me and you sitting there. And I don't care who else comes with, who else is around, what have you. And I just want to watch the game. She's like, oh, I'm down. I love the game. Remember, my wife is a former Jaguar cheerleader. So she's totally into the Jags, loves the Jags, loves watching all, and very knowledgeable about football. So I enjoy bantering about the game because she knows what she's talking about. It's fun and yada, yada. So we're at Ragtime, the back bar at Ragtime. My friend Dave has been bartending forever. He was like, man, what are you guys doing here? We're like, man, I just want to sit here. He's like, front row seat, had the perfect spot, had the perfect TV right in front of us, a lot of food, some booze, a lot of good times. It started filling up. People were getting into it. It was really cool. It was really cool. So they go up, and we're like, oh, my gosh, I can't. Another pick. Like, oh, my, what the hell is going on? It was like, you know what? You guys look like this is your first ever playoff game. And guess what? It was, right? That's what it felt like. It's like, man, you guys never been here before. You're really playing like it. This is bizarre. But nonetheless, they're down. And then before half, they get a drive together and get the score. I turned to my wife. I said, okay, now we got to see what happens in the second half. Because that was huge to me. That was a big part of the game. That was, hey, let's settle down. Let's get into our rhythm. Let's get into the run game, which Etienne was a beast. Offensive line did a great job overall once he got going. And let's just get some confidence back. And if we chip away at this thing and our defense can hold up and get over the nonsense, then we can maybe have a shot at winning this game. And, man, it was just absolutely incredible. And then you're look, three keys to the game for me. That, the touchdown right before half, I think was huge. I know they didn't get the ball back right away, but here's the thinking. You're going like, okay, we just showed we can go down and score. Okay, let's get in a lot. What did Doug say in the locker room? You heard it. Hey, defense, we need stops. Offense, we're going to score every possession. Okay, great. No problem. Right? So that was huge, I think. Number two, the field goal that the Chargers kicker missed in the fourth quarter was absolutely enormous. That would have been 33-20.
Yeah. Huge miss.
Might not have come back from that. That was the wind, the good Lord, who knows? Took that ball and get out of here. You're not going through the uprights. Thank goodness for that one. Because I think, now that doesn't mean they couldn't have won, but that makes it a lot harder.
He was kicking the ball well, too.
He was.
It wasn't like he was having a terrible night.
He was perfect up until then.
Yep.
Yeah. How about the cowboy kick?
Oh, my God.
My daughter's like, Dad, do you think that guy's going to get fired? I'm like, he should be.
All right.
Playoffs? You're missing PATs?
Right.
Smell you later. But nonetheless, so that was two. And then three, and I know everyone probably says the same thing, but the 4th and 1 call. Not only the call, but here's what I find fascinating. I don't know if every coach does it. I think they do, but do they have the nuts to call it? Like, here you go. You line up in a formation you haven't seen all year. You haven't seen that all year. 3 backs. You're like, what? As opposed to putting a similar formation out there that you have shown and doing something different. Like, and trying to do something different. This was a simplified something they've never seen before all year long. They didn't know it was coming. They didn't know it was going to be a sweep around that side. I mean, it was just brilliant call, brilliant thinking, brilliant preparation, because you need those. You need those calls. You pull them out of the back pocket. You're like, all right, we need, you know what? 4th and 1. We got to have this.
This
what
is
are we
the
going
time
with?
of year to do it, too.
Do it now. And it's absolutely a thing of beauty. And I'll tell you what, Doug again, I'm going to talk about Trevor because I got to talk about that. But Doug again, his play calling is masterful. If you watch, I'm going to give you an example. If you watch the Zay Jones touchdown where he's wide open, he set that safety up. And it's tough because typically when they high-low you, it comes from the same side, right? You got a guy that comes behind you. You got a guy that comes underneath you. That's a high. High's behind you. Low is in front of you. Your human nature is to go up to the low and make a big play. You're not thinking, I got to stay deep, I got to stay deep. What he did with Zay Jones, he brought him from the other side and threw the underneath here, and then he threw the underneath here, and then the other side. They didn't even see him. I don't even think they saw him coming. Like, the safety on this side is not even paying attention because he's over there. It's just beautiful, man. Wide open. Great throw. Obviously, should be a great throw when you're wide open, but set it up perfect. It was a beautiful thing. And now you're like, oh, hey, we're back in this thing. Like, here we go.
That was a critical score because
big time.
Like, obviously you needed to score that drive regardless, but to score so quickly and keep a lot of time still on the clock when you were still down 2 scores.
No doubt.
Because then you started, it didn't end up mattering as much as we maybe thought it would, but then toward the end of the game, all of a sudden you still have all your timeouts.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chargers are low on timeouts.
I know.
The time was a huge factor with that play, getting to quick score.
Yeah, you had to. I mean, you were such a hole. It's unbelievable. What a
if you don't get a couple of quick scores, you don't come back.
You probably don't come back.
Yeah, no chance.
And things got to go your way. Things got to happen. Boza losing his mind has got to happen. You know what I mean? That was. Hey, I'll tell you this: Walker and Jawan. That's the way to handle 2 of the top pass rushers in the game. Got beat a couple times here and there, but you shut him down.
But listen,
that's why Boza was so upset. He was getting shut down. He may say he was hurt, whatever. I don't care. He was getting shut down. They hold on every play. They don't call it, it's not holding. I'm sorry. I know I'm totally against that, but because I'm a defender and those big old linemen, they grab and hold on for dear life sometimes. But whatever. It's in the rules. Your hands are inside. It's not. And he was getting handled. And Walker's really turned out, man. He's getting that. He's too big and athletic not to be a dominant lift tackle. And he's getting there, man. He's getting there. But I'll tell you what, I do got to comment, and I'm sure everyone's saying this, but I'm going to say it. Trevor's emotional maturity is absolutely through the roof. And to me, that's just incredible. It must be faith, like his faith in the Lord, a faith up above, faith in himself. Of course, he's a very confident young man. I know I always did. Even last year when he wasn't playing well, man, I really commended the way he handled himself in front of the media. You know, you're like, I tell you what, and you heard me say it. Take the on-the-field stuff away. As far as the face of the franchise, as far as representing the organization, he's perfect. Remember, I said that a lot. I mean, he was and is. And just to, man, go down the way he went down. And I think Doug helps him a lot. Being a former quarterback, saying, hey, man, just calm down. Just calm down. We're going to get you back in a rhythm. Trust me. We're going to get this thing going. We'll chip away at it. Next thing you know. Because think about this. In the NFL today, 2 scores is nothing.
No.
Depending on time left. But being down 2, being down 3, being down 4, okay, now you're like, oh, how am I going to do this? But when you're down 2, you're in striking distance. Because what? You score, you get 2. Or you don't. And then your defense has got to have a stop. I mean, you can't go back and forth. Then it's tough. You got to have the stop. And our defense did step up eventually. I'm going to call out some other guys or credit some other guys. But Trevor's just emotional stability to me is really fascinating. That he's that young and that humble and just, hey, man.
Dude, he's younger than me.
I know. No, he's young.
That's crazy.
And married. And together. You know what I mean? Like,
he's 23.
Together and just, he's a special individual when it comes to that, man. So I'll tell you one critique, not even a critique. What I want to see more out of Trevor this Saturday, and we'll get into the Chiefs later in the week, take off and run, man.
Yes.
Come on. Use those legs, brother. You are such a weapon. That's when you're the perfect weapon, in my opinion. Because when you're on rhythm with throwing and then you're taking off, they don't know what to expect. And you obviously got the skill to do it. So take off and run. Protect the football, but take off and run.
I was like Dak last night.
5 TDs.
I
still not sold on them, though.
I'm not either. I'm not either. I'm just talking about last night specifically.
No, I know.
Like,
he was
when there was nothing there, Dak did such a good job of taking the profit of a scramble and getting 5 when there's nothing there.
No, I know.
I agree with you. That was one thing I felt like Trevor was hesitant to do.
Just get going.
He'd have 7 or 8 yards ahead of him. Whereas a quarterback, if you're going to slide, you're probably going to get about 4. And he would force a throw downfield. And I was like,
no, right.
I was like, dude,
just go. Get the first down.
Go get me 5,
you
man.
You can slide.
Yes.
Which protects you.
100%.
So, I hope, I'm sure they're telling him that, and I'm sure he'll do that. But I tell you what, he's mentally, emotionally, physically, he's the perfect thing you'd want out of a QB right now, So I'm really happy for the young man, and I know his team loves him, and I think that's one thing. I was doing a thing last night out at Sneakers with Beasley, Huntington, Najee Good, and Neil Sterling, John Fichter. We were just doing a little podcast kind of thing.
That's a lineup right there.
I know, it was fun. We drink, having some Heinekens while we're on stage, me and Beast. Fun times, but just talking about, when you're close to your teammates and you trust your teammates and you trust the coach and you're confident, it's a really powerful thing for a team. That's why they should go in with so much confidence, so much swag. They got nothing to lose. It's powerful, man. They love each other. You can tell they really care. They may not all love, you know what I mean? I didn't love it. I cared about every single teammate. That I like hanging out with all of them? No, not necessarily. Come game day, if they ever needed me out in the street, done. You know what I mean? I'm there. Whether we talk in the locker room or not, whether we're close or not. If I see my teammate in trouble, Superman's coming, or Batman, or somebody, some superhero coming to save the day. No, but that togetherness, we're together. And I think I've always loved the us versus them. So what do? You're 300. The movie 300, right? Your group, you're going to Kansas City, and you're just going to take care of it. You're going to have a good plan. You're going to have good strategy. You're going to execute like crazy. You're going to do it with fire and energy and nothing to lose attitude.
Trevor Lawrence is Leonidas.
I don't know if I'd put him as Leonidas.
Is Doug Leonidas?
Doug may be Leonidas, yeah. Doug, I like Doug, man. He's cool.
If Leonidas had long hair, it'd be Trev.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about once again, the tight end hurts our defense. Everett hurt it. And it was tale of two halves for the most part, but we've got to do something. I don't know if that's our backers don't cover well or safeties don't cover. I don't know what that is.
Donald Parham was hurting us a little bit too.
What's that?
Donald Parham was hurting us.
Yeah,
as well.
The tight end has hurt us all year. Catches, and if we shut down the number 1, the number 2 seems to do something. I don't know. They got to study that in the offseason. I'd like to know. I don't have an answer. Why does the tight end hurt us? Big time. Flip it around. Ingram hurts them. It's that speed. You got to try to match that speed, maybe, without taking up the run, I guess.
This is looking on to next year, but in a perfect world, Devin Lloyd improves by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Next year, and he has the athleticism, I think, to cover guys like that. But right now, I don't think he's mentally there yet.
Yeah.
So
maybe
in a perfect
you go
world,
4-3 and let him play Sam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. And you still got Allen, you still got Walker, you still got your guys. Roy Robertson Harris, shout out to you, man. You're playing some great ball. Great ball. 4 tackles for loss. Got after it. Eckler didn't do anything. I'm surprised they didn't utilize him in the second half. What, they give him a few carries? I was like, why aren't you trying him at all? But they shut him down. They got after. Look, the 2 quarterbacks, what a great future for the NFL. You got 2 really, really, really good quarterbacks. Look, Herbert's a good quarterback. There's no doubt about that. He's good. He needed a little help, but he got all of it in the first half, that's for sure. But nonetheless, Eckler, they shut him down. 10 QB hits overall. That's pressure. Okay? Don't give me pressure. Give me hits. He pressured him. No, he hit him. There's difference. Right? I want hits. QB hits. 10. Give me 10 on Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Knock the living crap out of him. Like to see that happen. Jamal Agnew, is he MVP or what? Jeez.
Oh, my gosh.
Can we see more him?
Please.
Give me a jet sweep with him in that lineup. You know what I mean?
Please. Yes.
Yeah, I got it. Put Etienne on one side, put Agnew on the other. Whoever's in the middle, I don't care. Now you can go either way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then throw a pass. One of them goes out. You know, shoo. Get it cranking, man. But, yeah, Jamal Agnew. And again, you know, I think when the mayor said this lately, but I was saying it, I forget when I said it, but Trent Baalke. Give that guy an extension. I'm sorry, man. You can sit here and say all you want about it, all that stuff you said about it, whatever. It's all whatever. It's in the past. But you can't deny. And look, players have gotten better, so you got to credit coaching. The O-line, you know why the O-line's better? Because the coach is better. He is. Rosher, right?
Dude, he's done.
He's
such a good job, man.
He's a great coach. You can see it in the players.
Good coach, man.
Walker Little's development, you can see it. You see him waiting and then striking. Remember early in his career, he would just absorb.
Yeah, he would let.
And we'd be like, and he'd be like this. You'd be like, "What are you doing? You're 6'7", 330. You don't absorb nothing. What are you talking? Right? And then now what? Now he's whack. He's finishing dudes. That's attitude. Look, Mike Mazer, God rest his soul, every offensive lineman, including Hall of Famer Tony Baselli, would say that Mike Mazer was extremely important in their development as an offensive lineman. And they'd say that college, because he was at Boston College. I know a lot of guys that played for him. They'd say that in the pros as well. He was that great of a coach, and it does matter. And Rosser seems to have that kind of, repertoire with his offensive line. They have responded. Think about the offensive line. Going in the year, what was the weak link? Come on. I'll admit it. I said it. It was the O-line. They were the biggest concern going into the season. Were they not?
And those tackles were concerning.
And the tackles, what are we doing? We've re-signed Cam. What?
Right.
Walker's not even playing. What's going on? Right? Look what's happened. I think a lot of that has to do
at the beginning of the year, it was
and personal development. Guys are just getting better.
At the beginning of the year, it was, all right, I feel good about Scherf, who we just brought in.
Right.
Everybody else.
Right.
Because Barch wasn't hurry, so it was like Barch.
How about the center?
And a rookie
started
center.
every year, every game. Right?
Dude, I mean.
Didn't he start every game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, what a stud player he is.
He's the best draft pick of this past class.
He
is.
Yeah. He is. I'm looking at him right now. I'm looking at all.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Dude, he's been unbelievable.
He has been.
And
mean too. I like it.
Just really quick back to Baalke. Speaking of draft classes,
yeah.
All of a sudden you look up at 2021's class.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence, Etienne, Campbell, Cisco, Walker.
Yep. Those 5 are big time players.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Extend them all. That's what winning does. It's so great. And you know what? Goodness. It feels like a foundation's being built. The cement's being poured. Footers are in. You know what I'm saying? It's all there. Like the foundation keeps getting thicker and thicker.
And this is how good teams stay good as well, because it's like, okay, and now all of a sudden you have a good nucleus of guys. You feel like you're going to have good leadership in most of the rooms coming back next year. You feel like you have good coaching development all across the board. So now all of a sudden the guys you draft are going to be put in a much better position to succeed.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you feel much better that whoever they draft will actually be developed and actually have veteran leadership and actually.
That's the key word. Developing them. It's not Baalke's job to develop the talent. It's him to pick the talent and then bring it in, thinking that they'll be developable. And when it looks like they are.
And when these guys are put in an environment that helps them succeed, they're more likely to succeed. This is why the Steelers and the Ravens and the Patriots, all these teams have been good for so long, because they put those guys in that position.
Right.
This is why the Jaguars have had bust after bust after bust back in the day.
It's not taking that player and making him fit your system. It's taking your system and fitting it with the player.
Yes.
And that's what Doug and his staff has done, which is brilliant. It's not just go beat your man. It's like, no, I'm going to show you how you beat your man, and we're going to get you set up where you beat your man, and then you're going to get the ball, and then you're going to go make a play based on your athleticism and your speed. So that is absolutely huge, and we got the right people in place, man. I'm really happy for Shad Khan. Can you imagine being the owner? Like, I finally got it. 17 was great. Don't get me wrong. 17 was awesome. No doubt about it. This top 17, in my opinion, just from where they came from. Now, they got to keep going, right? Maybe they shouldn't say the tops it, but it's equal to it. But you saw that stadium, the last two, that brings a smile to that owner's face. Like, all right, I got it right. They want to win. They have to want to win. Owners. I mean, this is, it's competitive nature. And look, in all honesty, at least from outside looking in, past 3 years, maybe 2-3 years, Shad's taken a more hands-on approach. He's here. He's around. He's part of it. Tony, his son's a big part of it, right? So that's huge. I'm telling you, I remember when I see Mr. Weaver back in the day during the week, it was like awesome. Like, the owner's here. The owner walks in the locker room, you're like, holy, the owner's. Better straighten up my the owner's walking. You know what I mean? Like, that means a lot, and it's great that
better put away that dirty towel that's hanging from my locker,
tape all over the place or whatever. No doubt about it. All right, I do want to address something that people keep asking me, so I'm going to do it here and now. These shirts, Duval AF, you can get them at Caribbean Connection. My friend Greg Conley down at the beach, Jacksonville Beach, Caribbean Connection, 777 South 3rd Street. Get your tattoos there, piercings, all that good stuff. They got a lot of great Jag swag, a lot of great stuff, and of course, these Duval AF shirts. Now, what does the AF mean, Tom? What does it mean? I'm being asked. I was asked by my in-laws last night. They were curious, so I had to tell them. So, look, I can't say it exactly. If I was just on the app, I would, which I did already, but being on Facebook, being on 1010XL's podcast platform, I just can't come out and say the words. But, of course, it means as Favre Gnuvgen, right? So that's what it means. Now, it could mean Air Force, it could mean and friends. It could mean whatever you want it to mean. What it means to me is as Favre Gnuvgen. And I'll tell you why. Because, me and my daughter came up with that word a long, long time ago. Favre Gnuvgen. Anyway, when I think of Duval County, which is Jacksonville, it's the same line, right? So Duval is Jacksonville. I think of blue collar, hardworking, a community that cares. And why do I say that? Because I've been here 27 years now. I've been to a ton of charity events, and you guys show up. You people show up. You care about your community. You do. I see it all over the place. And I don't care what we're talking about, whether it's, the Habijacks, that, Building for Humanity, the Habitat, Building for Habitat, whatever that is, all the way down to, the Tom Coughlin's J Fund, to the Radiothon here, just all across the board. It's everywhere. And you always show up. And on top of that, our Jaguars are Duval. They're the only, not only professional, of course, you've got your baseball and your hockey, no disrespect, but your only professional upper tier team. We thrive on the Jags. That's what makes us Duval as Favre Gnuvgen. And you know what? I'm as Duval as Favre Gnuvgen as the next guy. Now, I'm from Chi-Town. I love Chi-Town. I'll never forget where I came from. No doubt about it. But I love this city, and I love what this city stands for. And when our team wins, it's electric. I don't care about other cities, but I know when it's here, it's electric. And the people that comment that don't know, they don't know because they're not here. But when you're here in the thick of it, and you know what this county, this city represents and the people it represents, you'll understand what that Duval chant is all about. So get your shirts, live it. I do. Boom. Duval as Favre Gnuvgen. All right, that'll do it for me. I'm jacked up, man. Come on. Playoffs. And here's the crazy thing. I got work to do. I got a lot of work to do. And all of a sudden, I'll be doing work, and then it'll creep into my mind. Holy cow, they're going to Kansas City. What a game last week. I mean, it's like, I can't focus. I can't keep it together. I can, but you know what I'm saying? Like, holy cow. So here we go. Rock and roll hoochie coo. And our Jags are going to do it to you, Chiefs, you chefs. Bunch of chefs up there. Now, they're a great team. We'll talk about them. Got to shake, rattle, and roll Mahome somehow and cover Kelsey. Pretty easy. Seems pretty simple.
And it was fun last week, but if we could
Don't go down 27-0.
If we could not turn the ball over 5 times in one half, that'd be great.
Hey, tomorrow, exclusive on the app, but I'll share it out there. I'm sitting down with legendary coach Tom Coughlin tomorrow at noontime, right here on the Jaguar Fanatics channel. So go to the relevant app if you want to see it live. I'll share it out there so you'll see it. The reason I haven't done this yet, and we're not going to totally reminisce, but I want to know from when he was coaching us. Here you are, we beat Buffalo. You got to go to Denver and beat the number 1 team in the league. How do you get your players to do that? Like, what's the thought process? I've never asked him that. I want to know, because, you got to come up with a game plan. And not just a game plan, the psyche of your team, keeping that together. Hopefully they're healthy. How I work them during the week. What do I say to motivate them? Maybe I don't say anything. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know that in depth because there's no comparison as far as the personalities, right? But we both know this about any coach. They're committed to winning. And there's all different approaches. Obviously, Doug's approach works, and it's different than Tom's. Tom's approach worked. Whether you liked it or not, it worked, especially in the early days. So, and it's not a comparison, but
the man has 2 Super Bowls.
He's got 2 Super Bowls.
It works.
And even with think about when they beat the Pats, like that was hey man, they're undefeated. I know we went toe to toe with them at the last game of the year, showed that hey we could take them down, right? But that's a big task. Same kind of thing. Look, Doug's going to come up with something. I trust Doug Peterson, no doubt. I trust that staff. I trust Trevor in the fact that he's so emotionally stable that you're not going to get to him.
With the way this season's gone, you as a Jaguar fan, you shouldn't be scared of anybody.
I'm never scared of anybody.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I don't mean it in that kind of way, but, no, especially when you're – I mean, look, I always remember – and I know this sounds so like grammar school, but I remember when we were going to town, I'm like, yeah, always awesome. They're all awesome, but they get dressed the same way I do. I ain't Superman. If we were out in the street, that doesn't mean they'd beat me in a fight. And I know that's a little Neanderthalish, but that's how I always looked at stuff. Like, if we went one-on-one, I'd hold my own against you. I mean, so my team feels the same. And we do it collectively. And now I say it all the time, it's a fist fight out there. So like you got your group of 300, we're going to KC, and here we go. We're going
Andy Reid has 1 Super Bowl. Doug has 1 Super Bowl.
Right. Going to be great. All right, that'll do it for us this time around. I hope you have a great week. Try to get some work done. I'm going to try myself. Enjoy it, though, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy it. And I tell you what, I'm just happy from the top down, all the way, the whole organization, all you fans. It's been fantastic. And where they came from, it just that makes it even more Duval as Favre Ganuvkin. You know what I mean? Coming from 2-6-3-7, the grit, the grind, the toughness. Just getting it done. All right, till next time, stay safe. Be cool out there. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack on 1010XL's podcast platform, on 1010XL.com, on demand as well, on their app as well. Of course, on Facebook. Thanks for checking it out. And, of course, on the relevant app. Check it out at RELEVNT. And I'll see you tomorrow on noontime with legendary head coach Tom Coughlin. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.